Hello, everyone. So I am back to analyze whatever questions we know of Shift 2. Thank you all the students who sent questions to us. It has given us a pretty good idea of our exam. Like in Shift 1, a lot of questions were easy. If you have studied basic things, you can answer. And many of the questions, like maybe 70% of questions or 60% of questions, were from our encyclopedia materials, classes. I'm very happy about that. Also, some questions were there that were totally new. They're asking from very minor authors and authors that are not there in every syllabi or many syllabi. It's a little sad because in a country where people don't even know the major authors and works, they're asking questions from very obscure authors and works also. Well, it doesn't matter. We are learning more and more. So I hope everybody has joined us. I will proceed to quickly talk about whatever questions. Yesterday, in Shift 1, I made a mistake. I said religio laici attacks Anglicanism. That is wrong. I quickly went and edited the video. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. But today, I hope not to make any mistake. Shall we go to the first question? I know who is the author of the play, Galatea. It is John Lilly. John Lilly's university wit and his works are given in our encyclopedia and Wikipedia and everywhere. Look up the university wits. 1 or 2 questions from the university wits is usually always there. Pygmalion and Galatea. Remember that story. Who's the author of Typee? It is A Peep into Polynesian Life by Herman Melville. Herman Melville wrote a lot of novels about sailors, Billy Budd, Typee, etc. It is one of his early novels. Who wrote Novum Organum? That's a very easy question, but I know that it is not exactly like this in the exam, as I told you yesterday also. There are very confusing statements in the questions, and also options could be confusing. So Novum Organum is the Latin for new instrument. It's a scientific work, philosophical work by Francis Bacon. Science and philosophy at that time were intermixed. Who wrote The Voyage of the Beagle? That is the very famous travelogue of Charles Darwin. Darwin, Christopher Columbus, their works are also asked these days, prescribed in syllabi these days. So keep in mind that next time when you study. Who wrote the poem Address to a Steam Vessel? This poem is by an 18th century writer at the time when steam engine was discovered. It's my mistake that I have not taught Joanna Bailey. But I will add Joanna Bailey when we edit the encyclopedia. Address to a Steam Vessel. Who wrote A Sketch of Anglo-Indian Literature? That I have taught. It is part of my material also. I hope you remember that. This is a very important book. Edward Fairley Orton. It is Fairley, I think. Sorry for the mistake. Edward Fairley Orton, Anglo-Indian Literature. Many Indians were born of British fathers. Their literature. Out on stage, lesbian and gay theater in the 20th century. Remember, guys, LGBTIQ works are very important. Alan Sinfield wrote it. Jonathan Dollimore, Alan Sinfield. Remember, those authors of cultural materialism, new historicism, always they ask. So you should look up those authors, all their works. It could be very important. In which of Charles Dickens's works, sorry for the mistake, do we find a 19-year-old boy with his mom and sister, Kate? This may not be the question. I mean, this is what we heard from students. It is Nicholas Nickleby, of course. So questions from Charles Dickens, important. Which is the first novel written by Beryl Bainbridge? I have not taught Beryl Bainbridge. It is my mistake. She's a post-war writer. 1960s, 70s, she wrote. My mistake. Beryl Bainbridge will be included in our classes now. Who translated Aristotle's Poetics into Latin? Ayyo, you will think, should we study Latin now? But remember, guys, that is how it came to Renaissance. It came to be the foundation of Renaissance. So, again, my mistake. I have not taught this. I did not know this either. This I knew. Who does Achitophel represent in Absalom and Achitophel? Absalom is the Duke of Monmouth. Achitophel is the Duke of Earl of Shaftesbury. Achitophel is Anthony Ashley Cooper, the first Earl of Shaftesbury, who also founded the Whig Party. To whom was Spencer's Shepherd's Calendar dedicated to? That looks like a very simple question. Everybody will know it is Philip Sidney. Philip Sidney, 1579, Shepherd's Calendar. And the same year, Stephen Gosson's School of Abuse was also published. I have connected this in my classes. I hope nobody went wrong with that. What are the parts of Oresteia trilogy? This they have asked before also. Agamemnon, Koi Phoroi, that is a Greek title, libation bearers, and the human IDs. These are the three parts of Oresteia trilogy. Morning Becomes Electra by Eugene O'Neill is also based on Orestes. About this, they have asked one more question in shift 2. The play written by Sartre, The Flies, that is Electra story. Which two periodicals was Joseph Addison related to? The Tatler and the Spectator. I'm sure it was not as simple as this. In the exam, it must have been quite confusing. Choose the previous title of Whitman's Out of the Cradle, Endlessly Rocking. I have taught this in my classes. I don't know if everybody remembered. A word out of the sea. A child is standing on Paumanok Beach and his heart is breaking because a bird has died. And he's asking the sea, what is the reason of man's suffering? And the sea says, death. A word out of the sea. That word is death. And it's also a child's reminiscence. Match the following. Ernest Hemingway wrote Across the River and Into the Trees. That's also part of our material. William Faulkner, Light in August. Maybe there are other confusing options that we don't remember now. The two magazines started by Dickens all the year round. That is where Elizabeth Gaskell published her in Household Words, actually. She published her North and South all the year round and Household Words. The Mosquito is a poem by D.H. Lawrence, The Mosquito. Okay, we have reached the half of this presentation. Before the second half, let me remind you of our course. We have a 6-month course aimed at December exam, online completely. We don't have a 6-month offline course this time. Instead, we have a 1-year online course and a 1-year offline course. Except for the offline course, 6-month and 1-year online courses, both online courses are suitable for college-going students and working professionals. 1-year course is, of course, more in-depth. You will get career grooming courses for no extra cost. And it will make you career ready, the 1-year course. 6-month course will make you exam ready. We are going to be in full swing. We have made all preparations. You can trust us completely. We will not cheat you. We don't want your money. That is not the reason why we are running this. Our reason is we want everybody to be happy after studying English literature. We want to help all of you build your careers. For that, expenses are there, that's all. So many people are here working for you. It's like a factory. I was telling my R&D people today. So many people working together to help you. Isn't that amazing? I'm so proud of my team. They work so hard. Huh. Now coming back to the questions. Who wrote Reginald in Russia? I didn't know that. It is H.H. Munro or Saki. Which of the following were published in 1791? Both these I always teach. The chronology is actually easy if you cross-connect and study. That is how I teach. Life of Samuel Johnson, published in 1791. Johnson died in 1784. His Lives of the Poets came in 1781. Thomas Paine's Rights of Man came in 1791. Edmund Burke attacked the French Revolution in 1790. And French Revolution itself took place in 1789. I'm going backwards. Did you understand? All the study techniques I will teach you. Don't worry. My students will have so many study techniques to learn from. I'll do YouTube live also doing all that. Okay, don't worry. Who established British cultural studies along with Richard Hogarth and Stuart Hall? Raymond Williams it was. Raymond Williams was one of the very important figures in British cultural studies. That is CCCS. Match the following question. There is a deconstruction. Oh, this time it is so easy. Earlier it was arranged chronologically. Derrida, deconstruction, Gramsci, hegemony, habitus, field, habitus, cultural capital. I taught you before the exam. Bourdieu, interpellation, Althusser. In which of the works there is a practice of the play within the original play? A play within the original play. Silence, the court is in session. Leela Banare, Sukhatme, Samant, they're all Pongshe, Rokde, they're all enacting a play within the play. 6 characters in search of an author. There is a father, son, mother, stepson, stepdaughter, and a child. But stepson, he's called boy. That is 6 characters in search of an author. There is a play being enacted within the play. A Pirandello play is interrupted so that the play within the play can be enacted. I hope I'm not boring you with all these explanations right after the exam. The Flies is a play by Jean-Paul Sartre showing the Electra story or Estia story. Who among the following was a noted diarist? That's easy. John Evelyn. John Evelyn and Samuel Pepys, diarists of the Civil War period and after, 17th century. Which novel of D.H. Lawrence was banned for frank portrayal of sex and open use of the 4-letter word? It is Lady Chatterley's Lover. It was at first published in 1928. It was banned, and after the obscenity trial was won by Penguin, it was published in 1960. And who gave testimony in support of D.H. Lawrence? He was dead at that time. Who gave testimony? It was none other than Richard Hogarth. And it was with the money of Penguin that he set up CCCS. Match the following. John Keats is associated with egotistical sublime. He said, Wordsworth is an example for egotistical sublime. T.S. Eliot, dissociation of sensibility. Matthew Arnold, touchstone method. And Coleridge, willing suspension of disbelief. All these are easy terms, aren't you guys? Guys, did you know we are bringing out post-colonial literature question pad, objective question pad, multiple choice question pad. We are going to bring out criticism and theory question pad. So many will bring out. Lucasta is a poem by Richard Lovelace. If so, and so I missed my chance with one of the lords of life. A snake is drinking water from a trough, and the snake slithered away when the poet scared him. And then the poet is saying, oh, I missed my chance with one of the lords of life, and I have something to expiate. A pettiness. He is scolding himself. He is reproaching himself. That is in the poem Snake by D.H. Lawrence. It's even prescribed in schools. You must know. It was not there. Maybe some students did not remember correctly. Don't worry. Writer of the poem Rough Passage is R. Parthasarathi. Sometimes shift 1 and shift 2 might have got mixed up also. Rough Passage, Exile, Trial and Homecoming. Then Brecht's work, they asked, Caucasian Chalk Circle. Bertolt Brecht is very famous. You should look up his works. Caucasian Chalk Circle that I studied in MA. Life of Galileo, Man Equals Man. These are the options as far as students could remember. Match the following. Edward Gibbon wrote the decline and history of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. Edmund Burke wrote a philosophical inquiry into the origin of our ideas of the sublime and the beautiful. That is where he talked about sublimity of terror. Remember, John Locke wrote an essay concerning human understanding, 1690. So these were also easy, I hope. We did not get more questions. Other areas from where questions were taken. We had a question from Thomas Paine's Rights of Man, sources of Shakespeare's tragedies. I remember I had told the students you should look up the sources. Then Edmund Burke's On the Sublime. That means, that is what I said, a philosophical inquiry into the origin of our ideas of the sublime and the beautiful. That question we said. Then works of Wilkie Collins, Raymond Williams, Thomas Love Peacock, Thomas Carlyle. Chronology questions, were there many? If you cross-connect and study, it's not a big challenge. You can do it. There were chronology questions based on Nizam Ezekiel's poetry, Hardy's poems, T.S. Eliot's works. They're all very famous authors. And Louis MacNeice, that's not very famous. I mean, not as famous as the others. Also poems of Adrian Rich, E is not necessary. Philip Larkin, members of the School of Thought. I don't know what that is. Statement assertion questions from Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. MLA Handbook 8th edition citation question was there. Philip Larkin's poetry collections. 14th century secular prose writers, members of the Kit Kat Club. Those who are preparing for the next exam may start from all these writers. If you are joining our course, I will give you the details. But if otherwise, if you are studying on your own, immediately start reading authors like this, studying their works, very important. So once again, guys, there is a 6-month online course where there are classes 6 days a week. Timings are suitable for all kinds of people. College-going students, working professionals, because it is usually evening or weekends. Completely updated PDF will be there. Recordings with lifetime access. 18 books if you don't have them. If you have them, we'll reduce the cost. Course completion certificate, and it makes you exam ready. Now, 1-year online course is there. In-depth classes 6 days a week. Timings are suitable for college-going students and working professionals. Updated PDF will be there. Recordings with lifetime access here also. 20 books are there. And career grooming, inbuilt courses. You don't have to pay extra to get these. But if you want to pursue one course more and more, then you will have to pay. But for a decent introductory level course, which will set you going, and we will give you lots of activities, we will give you internship, all that will be there. And course completion certificate also makes you career ready. So offline course is also more or less the same, in-depth classes, but sessions will be very long. So you will get 2 days holidays a week, suitable for those who want to study everything thoroughly. Updated PDF, recordings, 20 books, career grooming sessions. Don't worry, for online students, especially the 1-year online, which is for beginners, we will have doubt clearing sessions and you will get a lot of individual attention if you want it. Okay, right. So this also makes you career ready. So Vallath is bringing you 2 kinds of courses live, that is exam ready course and career ready course. And also there are budget courses. The recorded courses are also there. Recorded course, etc. are the budget courses. If you don't want to spend a lot of money and you can study a lot on your own, you just want some guidance, then budget courses you can take. All right. So that brings us to the end of this session. Thank you, YouTube babies. I hope you will all pass. I hope you will enjoy further studies also. Start studying. Don't waste time a lot. Just take a couple of days break. That's all. And all best wishes to you. I'm ending the